Hey guys, what's up in this video and compare the specs and features of the Samsung Galaxy S5 Mini versus HTC One Mini 2. Now, both of the phones are the mini versions, cut down versions of their flagship devices. So let's talk about the display now. In terms of the display, both devices have 4.5-inch display. Both devices have 720p HD resolution. Both devices have 326 ppi. Only difference is the technology. Now the technology used on the S5 Mini is a Super AMOLED one, whereas the technology used on the HTC One Mini 2 is the IPS, actually Super LCD 2 display. Now, if you are a fan of Super AMOLED HD panel, then you go for it because the Super AMOLED displays are always awesome in terms of color reproduction, whereas Super LCD 2 display are more brighter than the AMOLED ones, but you know the color accuracy is not that much at the point where the Super AMOLED does. So display wise, I should call it as a draw. Now moving on to the design. Now this is where the HTC takes the lead. Clearly the design is awesome and more clearly awesome than the S5 Mini. So design wise, the HTC One Mini 2 wins. Now moving on to the software side, we have the Android 4.4.2 TouchWiz UI on the S5 Mini, whereas the HTC Sense 6 UI and the Android 4.4.2 is on the HTC One Mini 2. So now in this department, it just comes down to the user preference, because if you like the Sense, you will like the HTC more. But if you are a Samsung users, then you know you will like the TouchWiz. Now I'll call that as a draw. Now moving down to the weight. Now not like the HTC One M8, the One Mini 2 is actually lighter with its aluminum stuff. 137 gram. It's actually good one for its aluminum stuff here, because aluminum does makes HTC One heavier as compared to the normal phones. So the S5 Mini is around 120 gram, which is even lighter than the iPhone 5C. Which has a 132 gram weight. So also the S5 Mini will give you water and dust resistant features like IP67 certified with the fingerprint scanner. Now that these two things are calling everything equal, because HTC One Mini 2 takes the lead in terms of its build with metal and aluminum, but the HTC One Mini 2 doesn't have the water and dust resistant features and fingerprint scanner. So the Galaxy S5 Mini does take the lead here in terms of some fancy things, fancy features. So moving on to the camera, we have 8 megapixel camera on the S5 Mini. The One Mini 2 comes with 13 megapixel camera, single LED flash on both devices. Both devices come with some neat features, but the S5 Mini does comes with a lot of fancy features from Samsung, like fast mo and slow motion video recording. And also the phone can record, both phones can record 1080p HD video, and but in terms of front-facing camera, the One Mini 2 completely kills the S5 Mini with this 5 megapixel front-facing camera, straight borrowed from the HTC One M8. And on the S5 Mini we have 2.1 megapixel camera. Now in terms of camera department, I will say the HTC One Mini 2 will have a better camera than the S5 Mini, because more megapixels on both front and back will give you better results in photos and selfies. Now moving on to the internal hardware, both devices have same processor, Snapdragon 400 quad core, but the clock speed on the S5 Mini is a little bit higher, 1.4 GHz, so that's why it will perform better than the One Mini 2. Now in terms of internal hardware department, the Galaxy S5 Mini kills this phone because of its Snapdragon 400, more clock speed, and more RAM. It has 1.5 GB of RAM, whereas the HTC One Mini 2 only have 1 GB of RAM, which is not 1 GB, because some memory will gonna be taken by its Android software. Now moving on to the built-in storage, both devices have 16 GB of built-in storage with SD card option, expansion up to 128 GB. And in terms of the battery, both devices have 2100 mAh battery, which both devices will have almost like 23 days of standby time, and I will be having 16.20 hours of almost 17 hours of talk time on 3G. So Now that's the specs, whole specs comparison of both devices. And in terms of price wise, in my country, both devices will offer price almost at the same price point. The S5 Mini will gonna cost me about $400, from $400 to $450, and same as for the HTC One Mini 2. So it all comes down to the user preference. Both devices are awesome. HTC One Mini 2 gives you some metal and HD stuff. Some good looks when you hold it in hand, whereas the S5 Mini gives you fingerprint scanner and water and dust resistant. Now, if I have to choose between these two devices, one phone between these two devices, I will choose S5 Mini because S5 Mini will have more rooting and custom support. We're gonna get more rooting and custom and developer love than the HTC One Mini 2, because we can already see it from for the S5, because custom ROMs are already being in making for the S5, and we're gonna continue for the Galaxy S lineup. There's HTC One Mini 2. Also for the software update stuff, the Samsung has good reputation in terms of updating their phones. So the S5 Mini is the winner for me here. And that's just my thoughts on these two phones. So I'll probably get the S5 Mini when it launches in my country soon. So yes, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next video. Peace out. Subscribe for Dill Tech videos, news, more stuff, and yeah, I'll see you next one. Peace.